Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice. But before we get started, I'd like to take a moment and let you folks know about something special that's happening today. Well, it seems like we have 3 guests each program. Fine, we've been doing that for a long time. No problem. But today it's unusual that, come on back, piece of paper. All 3 guests are here. All 3 of them, courtesy of renowned publicist Philip Sokolov. There's his picture. There's my man. Okay. Philip is a guy you can't do without. He's a good guy. He definitely knows his craft. I mean, he's the one who gets all these fabulous people that we get. He's the guy that takes care of that. And just coincidentally, all 3 of you guys today, and there's 2 guys and a girl, you all came under him today. So I want folks, and I hope he's listening because I told him to listen in. Thank you. Want to thank you. This is the Philip Sokolov Day. As long as I'm working. Thank you. God bless you, Philip, and all that you do. Roll it, Tony.
It happened one night. A plane slides off an icy runway at Logan Airport and into the water.
Please keep your arms and legs in your designated personal space so we can all enjoy our 5-hour, 24-minute flight. We ask that you please fasten your seatbelts at this time and secure all baggage in the overhead compartments.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first guest today is called Arturo Playwright. He's worked as an actor, a Writers Guild of America, screenwriters, a copywriter, and a studio marketing creative director across film and television for decades. But one day, this gentleman, you're going to be seeing in just a second, an unlikely event of an actual emergency was what you just saw is what he's going to tell you about, okay? So without any further ado, please welcome John Mullican. Greetings, John, and welcome to The Actor's Choice.
Thank you so much, Ron. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wow. My first question to you is, where are you from? Where were you born?
I was born here in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles native here.
Oh,
yeah, my entire life. I moved to New York. I only lasted in New York a year and came back. So I'm a true Los Angelino.
I'm crazy about you because I'm from New York City.
Oh, there you go.
Born and raised. The city's so nice, they named it twice. The city's so pretty, they call it New York City. That's my home. What was it like growing up in those cities?
In Los Angeles, growing up was, Los Angeles is a city built on entertainment. It's a city, if you really break it down, it's a city built on illusion and the creative arts, which is truly incredible, and at the same time a very strange place because we in the entertainment industry, it is what it is. And it's a city built on that kind of illusion of entertainment. And as long as you understand it's a job, I think that you can do well in this city. But if you think that it's more than a job or that you can get very confused here, and it can be a very strange city.
Did you watch show last night?
I saw some of it. I didn't see all of it, but I was really impressed of what I did see.
Yes,
because it was kind of a gentler, kinder award show, which I really appreciated. Human. It was very human, which is really nice.
Old Emmy Awards. They do it every year. New people come out, always coming up with different things. It's amazing. Yep. What made you do what you do?
Oh my goodness. What made me do what I do? I will say, a huge influence was my parents. My parents were artists Lee Mullican and Lucita Hurtado, who are Southern California artists. They're in pretty much every major museum in Southern California, and growing up in a house filled with such creativity and love and art and appreciation really made me understand myself and my future of what who I wanted to be. And they were absolutely the biggest influences, which is why I put them in my play.
Okay. Tony, can you show him that picture? There's a picture number 11. Ah, that's your mother. Yes.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's my mom. Yep. Yeah.
Next one, Tony. Next, number 12. Okay.
Oh yes.
Amen. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
You guys do your research.
We try. We try.
Yes.
So I understand. Okay, your parents have a huge role in your development as a youngster. Blah 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 blah. But all of a sudden, let's move forward. Looking back at your parents, they did good things for you, didn't they?
They did.
Yes. Amazing. Wonderful. So then you started doing all this work you've been doing all these years, but you did something that a lot of us do. You got in a plane.
Yes.
We got in a plane, ladies and gentlemen. Who would want to get in a plane? Me and you know. We need it. But it's the fastest one that you have. Okay. It's the most popular one that you have. And it's very safe. People don't know that.
It's very safe. It is very safe.
0.1 out of 100 million versus 48 out of 100 million. It's, trucks and stuff like that.
Yep. And it's one of those things that the odds are in your favor,
right?
Until that one day when they're not. And that one day in my life when the odds changed for me, it's affected me my entire life. And I finally have had the courage to write about it and to do this play and to share my voice about that experience.
Okay. Tony, can you show us that picture of number 13? There's something that's interesting in that. Look at there. Wow. An unlikely event of an actual emergency.
That's it.
That's it. If I can say it, those damn good words.
Yes.
Likely event of an actual emergency. Thank you, Tony. Oh, goodness. And so you sat down and put pen to paper, whichever way you want to do it, and you started to write a play. Tell us about the play, sir.
Well, the play is called In the Unlikely Event of an Actual Emergency. I wrote it 1 year ago. Okay. It had been brewing inside me for years, but it was really kind of coming out of the end of COVID and losing my mother during COVID that it made me look at we all have ghosts. We all have certain things that we hold on to. Well, I've held on to this, what airlines refer to as an airplane incident, which was a plane crash. It was a terrible ghost that I never really confronted. But then losing my mother and with COVID, I realized, no, it's time to share this story and to move forward. And so I started writing this play, and I'm very proud of it. It is, I'd like to call it, it's a dramedy. I think that the plane crash itself, when it happened, there are moments of absolutely ridiculous and hysterical comedy, followed by absolute tragedy. So as a theatrical play, I knew that there were opportunities here for a great narrative and a great show.
Wow. When you were on the plane, tell us what happened. Because remember in New York City, in the Hudson River, remember what happened there?
Well, the Hudson River, basically what this was a plane crash that, most plane crashes happen during takeoff or landing. And for whatever reason, when I was on this flight, we can talk about an intuition or a understanding. But I was like, this just does not feel right. This just does not feel right. And I was extremely nervous during the flight. But then once we touched down, I was like, okay, well, that was ridiculous. You were freaking out over nothing. But then the plane kept going and going and going. And we passed the airport. Then there was no more buildings. And I realized, and no one else was reacting. I was like, we're about to go off the end of this runway in a snowstorm into Boston Harbor. And in that moment, I literally said to myself, Ron, I said, this is the moment of my death. And impact and the entire experience metal, fire, water. And then I realized that I was the only one standing in the cabin because I thought we were underwater and I was refusing to drown. And then from there, I realized I am alive, and now it's about surviving. And that's what the play is. The play is pretty much every experience that I went through in surviving happens on stage. And I'm not going to give away the ending, but there's a bit of a twist of the ending that that has affected me my entire life. But I'm so happy to be able to share it now and to be in it and to relive it on stage. It's been an extremely powerful experience and fun, and it's been a lot of fun. And we have a great cast.
Gotcha. Out of curiosity, have you thought about sending and asking the airlines to come and see you play?
Well, I've talked to friends. I have friends who are flight attendants, and they came and saw a workshop production. We had a workshop production of this last March, and they came and they were all extremely enthusiastic. The experience for a flight attendant to be in a plane crash is different than all the training modules that they go through. And it was my experience that the flight attendant that I was dealing with, who is the character is in the play, this flight attendant completely freaked out, completely went bananas. But as they would maybe, because you do all this training, and then when push comes to shove, right, she became human, which was fine, which is totally fine.
Like I just said, it wasn't your time.
Was not my time. It was not my time, and I'm grateful for that. There is a thing called survivor guilt. That's in many ways, that's why I wrote this play. And I think that coming out of COVID, losing friends during COVID, it was like, okay, life is so precious. It is so important. And to confront those fears or those doubts, that's what this play was about. And getting over my guilt.
I can just imagine, after that all was all said and done, getting back on the airplane for the first time after that.
Yeah. I'm, as my husband says, I'm not very fun to travel with.
Okay.
Because I have gotten better, but anytime there's a weird sound, or we have a bad landing, it's innate in me. It is in my DNA and my biology. And once I'm able to understand that and forgive myself for that, I'm okay. And the odds of it happening in the first place are so remote. The odds of it happening a second time, come on. Then it is truly my time. But air travel for me is a specific relationship.
John, Andrea, Michelle, sounds familiar?
Yes. My producer, she has really, a theater production is, what they would say is sometimes at moments it's like herding cats. And Andrea really has taken the role of understanding what this production is about, the humor, the tragedy, the special effects. And she's been incredible in this journey of going forward. She's produced theater here in Los Angeles, so she's been a great go-to for this production. And the theater, we're at the Guild Theater at the Hudson Theater, which is basically a long tube, and it mimics the inside of an airplane with surround sound and a subwoofer. And she really got on board of understanding that this is an immersive theatrical experience. And she's been terrific.
Wow. Next one is Ricky Pete.
Ricky Pete. It was interesting how this all came together. I knew that I had to do this. So I started asking friends. I said, I need a theater director. And a friend of a friend of a friend literally said, there is only one director, and that is Ricky Pete for this show. And Ricky was living in Washington, D.C. That's his home. So we Zoomed and rehearsed, and he has been absolutely incredible. Again, understanding the importance of telling a story and the urgency. And it is a, for lack of a better word, it really is a roller coaster, the show. It goes up, down, all around. And he has always understood the urgency. Tell the story, tell the story, tell the story. And the show, it's 85 minutes, 90 minutes long. You are in and out. You have this incredible experience where you laugh, you cry. And that was the goal. And that was always the goal with Ricky. And an extremely intuitive, he's an actor as well. So extremely intuitive to that process that an actor goes through, particularly a story like this, which has so many ups and downs.
Got some video for you. Roll it
Okay.
on.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Marvelous.
Fantastic.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
I can see the people got up and applauded you because that had to
They
be.
did. People have been really, I get a little emotional about it.
Yes.
People have been really touched by it. And that just hits me right. And that was my goal as the playwright and an actor in the production, that was always the goal, that it really touches on the humanity and the love that we all have for our community, whether it be our community or a group of strangers on an airplane. It's the same thing. So, yeah. So come on down, the Hudson Theater. It opens this Friday, September 20th, and runs through October 26th, Friday and Saturdays.
Oh, goodness. 90 minutes, no intermission at the Guild Theater and the Hudson Theater Complex. Valet parking. Runs from September 20th to October 26th. Fridays only at 8 o'clock. Saturdays, 3 p.m. and 8 p.m.
Correct. And for more information, just go to unlikelyplay.com, and it's all there.
I got my favorite question for you. You ready?
Ready.
What is it about this play that excites the most?
The thing that excites me, and this is going to sound cliche, but I do not mean it to sound cliche. It is love. It is the meaning of this play. It is the meaning for me of life. And this plane crash has taught me levels of love and how to live in joy that I never imagined. And it's been really fun to call the cast, our group of people, we call each other our unlikely family, because we are such a family in telling this story. But it is love. It is absolutely love.
I don't know what to say.
It's just the truth. It is, it is the truth. Yeah. And the truth is where it's at. And good theater should be about truth, because we will see ourselves. We will understand our journey when we see the truth on stage. And that's something that Andrea and Ricky and the rest of the cast have understood from the very beginning.
Yes. Goodness, for it to be that way, it's just crazy.
That is crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy.
Like I said earlier, when it's your time, nobody, one time I was working at a radio station, and I asked a question. I was doing the news, and I asked the guy who was the DJ, I said, "Hey, do you want to know when you're going to die?" He said, "That's a crazy question. Why you ask me something like that?" I said, "Well, do you want to die?" So I convinced him to go and call the people, and boy, did those phones light up like Christmas Day. Some people say, "Yes, I want to know." Some people say, "I don't want to know."
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. I do not want to know. Because, then you'll just be like going towards that day. Yeah. And we should all try to kind of live Like today might be our last day. Tell people that you love them. Enjoy the moment. Look at the tree, smile at the cash register, girl. Uh, connect to life. And that is a life well lived. We don't know when it will be over. But as a friend said, how can you tell when your life is over? If you're still here, it's not over.
I was just, as you're talking, I'm just reading back something that I said earlier. The average annual injury rate for air travel was 0.01 injuries per 100 million passenger miles traveled, compared with 48 injuries for the same distance traveled in cars and trucks.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. It's incredibly safe. And if you really break down how many planes are in the sky at any given moment around the world, it is astronomical. It is the 405 freeway in Los Angeles, but in the air. Yes. And I don't know how they do it.
Right. John, thank you for letting me see and the rest of us see the play that you and your cast has put together. I was so reminded of what happened on January 15, 2009. Commercial airplane on U.S. Airways Flight 1549 had a bird strike and dual engine failure and crashed in the New York City Hudson River. And I go on to say that this play can surely be made into a movie. It would be nice. That would be real nice. John Mullican, all I can say is may God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ron. Really appreciate it.
I want to come down and sit in that.
Come down, check it out.
I want to sit back in the back.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I can make some of those stuff. I peek the actors. I can make it.
Yeah.
Words to me. What'd he say? What'd he say?
All right. Thank you, Ron.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Mullican. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Tony, would you put that up? I want to talk for just a second. Rest in peace for legendary renowned actor James Earl Jones, passed on September 9th, 2024. 93 years old, was widely recognized and regarded as one of the greatest stage and screen actors, both in the USA and internationally. James was born in a place called Arcabolta, Mississippi. At an early age, he started to take dramatic lessons to calm himself down. He starred in many films over a 40-year period. Wow. He's probably best known for his role as Darth Vader in the original Star Wars trilogy. Okay? J.E.J. May God bless you. Roll it, Tony. There was a clip that we were looking for. We'll get back to it. Jane Austen's First Love, which was presented by our next guest. She's an acclaimed novelist, screenwriter, and a playwright. She's thrilled to be representing the world premiere of her play, Jane Austen, in 89 minutes at the Theater 40. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Syrie James. Syrie, God bless you, and welcome to the Actor's Choice.
Hi, Ron, and thank you so much for having me on your show.
Wouldn't have it no other way. And by the way, you do know, besides, this is a very special day today. You know who a guy by the name of Sokolov? You know that guy, Phil Sokolov?
Yes.
Well, today there are three people here today, and all three of y'all under him. You work for him, or work with him. That's what I say. He's quite a guy. Quite a guy. Wow.
And I'm honored to be here. And you know my name? My name is Syrie, just like the app, only spelled better.
Syrie. Syrie? Okay, Syrie. I understand that you are an obsessed fan from all the things of Austen. We'll get back to that and come back then just a little bit. But tell us, where were you born?
I was born in Poughkeepsie, New York.
Poughkeepsie, New York. I know about Poughkeepsie, New York. I was born and raised in a little place called New York City, Manhattan, Harlem. And I can remember we used to go to run track. I went to Aviation High School. We used to go run track. In Poughkeepsie, we go up there all the time. Great place to be from. I don't mean far from. Great city. Great city. Wow. Thank goodness. Uh, you have done so much. You know, her stuff is about, I call stuff, is about that big, y'all. It gets bigger every day because she likes to write. How many novels have you wrote?
I have 13 published so far.
That's a lot. You like to write. One would say you like to write.
Oh, I love it. I've been writing since the day I was born.
You got to start back in the days when you first got started. According to my IMDb, you were you were a writer in a place called Starman. 1987 was the year. Remember
That's true. I sold 20 screenplays to film and television, and that was one show I worked on. It was great fun.
Yes. Wow, that was your first IMDb credit, writer credit. My goodness. Huh. So then you decided to go and do something. So what have you been doing since then? That's an understatement, ladies and gentlemen. That's an understatement.
I returned to my first love, which was writing books. And since then, I've been mainly writing historical fiction and historical romance. And I'd love to tell you about my books.
Please go for
So
it.
it all started with my novel, The Lost Memoirs of Jane Austen, which I'm excited to say sold in a bidding war between 3 major publishing houses to HarperCollins and became an international and USA Today bestseller. It's the untold love story of Jane Austen's romance with a charming and worthy gentleman who inspired her return to writing and helped get her first novel, Sense and Sensibility, published. And it started Austen on the path to success as an author. And I wrote this book from Jane Austen's point of view, which was a real challenge because her work is so loved and so well known. But I read and reread her books over and over till I felt I had her voice in my head.
Have you ever met her?
I just want to say the response to that book has been humbling and thrilling because even though Jane Austen wrote some of the most beloved romantic novels in the English language, she never married. So people from all over the world have written to say how much it meant to them that I gave Jane Austen a romance of her own. And would you like to hear about some of my other Austen novels? Well, that novel jump-started my career, just like Austen's, but as a writer of historical fiction. So I have 13 books to date that have been published in over 20 languages and include 2 more books about Austen. So one of them is The Missing Manuscript of Jane Austen. And this is the romantic tale from a priceless, long-lost Jane Austen novel, which I wrote as if Jane had written it herself, and I interwove it with the story of a modern-day librarian who discovers it and the drama that ensues over the manuscript's fate in a world where everyone wants a piece of it. And Jane Austen's first love is inspired by real people and events. It brings to life the story of a young Jane Austen's romance with a charismatic young man, Edward Taylor, over a summer of mad matchmaking going horribly wrong. It's inspired by Jane Austen's letters, where she mentioned Edward Taylor several times as a young man upon whom he fondly doted. And scholars knew nothing about him, but I did a ton of research and learned all about him and was able to write this book. So I just want to mention 2 of my other historical fiction novels. One was very close to my heart, The Secret Diaries of Charlotte Bronte. This work is about Charlotte Bronte's romance with the man who loved her from afar for years before he had the nerve to propose, and how she came to write one of the most famous novels of all time, Jane Eyre. And I'll just conclude with my novel, Dracula, My Love. It's another reader favorite. It's an alternate theory to the events that occurred in Bram Stoker's classic horror tale, and at the same time is a spooky and romantic love story. And now I'm working on a 3-book series of historical romance murder mysteries set in Victorian England. The first is called The Mysteries of Pendoir Hall, and it comes out in February 2025 from Dragon Blade Publishing, followed by the other 2 books in the series, The Secrets of Thorndale Manor and Danger at Darkmoor Park. And you can find out more about these and my other books at my website, syriejames.com.
Sorry, we've got a couple of photos that we'd like to send to you. This is you in a little place called Bath, England. You sent me some pictures. Let me see
Yeah.
the first one, Tony. Let me see the first one. Oh, look at you.
Oh, well, that picture is of me at a Jane Austen Society conference last year in Denver with when we were all dressed up to attend the Regency Ball on Saturday night.
Next one.
Here I am last year at the Jane Austen Festival at Bath. It's going on right now as we speak in Bath, England. And they had the costumed Regency parade yesterday. And this is me exactly a year ago marching in that parade. Right at the front of the parade, I was invited to march on the arm of a officer who always marches at the front of the parade. It was really a highlight of my life.
Next one, please.
Oh, and this is the master of ceremonies of the Regency costume parade at the Bath Festival. He's been doing it for over 20 years. And I noticed him standing there waiting for it all to begin. And I went up and introduced myself and got a photo op.
Next one, please. I can see you got it going. Oh.
Well, these are just pictures of some of my many Jane Austen costumes. Here I am with my husband, Bill, who is sadly no longer with us, but he was a great sport. He was my Mr. Darcy, and he attended every Jazznet conference and ball with me and danced the night away. And I had a lot of fun sewing Regency costumes over the years.
Next one.
Now, you don't have to show them all, Ron, but here we are at another ball. This one was when the conference was in Minneapolis.
Got one more for you. Just one more. Now, that's a place right there. Theater 40.
Theater 40. We have a very different set now. The
Yes.
set is stunning. I can't wait for you to see it.
Wow. Wow, that is something else. This, what you're trying to do right now, you sold 20 screenplays to film and television, and you publish Playwright. How does it feel, all this work that you do?
It's very gratifying. I mean, literally, I wrote my first play at age 7, but that's another story. And I've always been passionate about live theater. And to have this opportunity to present my new play in a world premiere at Theater 40 is just an incredible highlight of my life.
LA Magazine calls you, quote, the queen of 19th century re-imagings.
Which is very kind of them.
Yes, indeed. Tony, can you go back and roll that back one more time? What you just showed? Can you show that again? Hey,
That's the poster for my new play.
tell us about it.
Well, in Jane Austen, in 89 minutes, a madcap cast of ladies and gentlemen bring all 6 of Jane's beloved novels to comic life, including music and dancing and modern-day zingers about Austen's fame, fandom, movies, and TV series. And in case you couldn't tell, I'm a huge Jane Austen fan. And after all the research I did to write my novels about Jane Austen, I wanted to see a play. And it didn't exist, so I wrote it. It's all 6 of Jane Austen's books, contracted and condensed to their essence and presented in the order of their publication, with Jane Austen herself narrating and keeping the stories moving at a lightning pace. The cast sometimes runs amok and tries to take over the show, and Jane has to rein them in. And fast is funny. The play has lots of unexpected twists and turns, and it's a really fun ride. I had 4 staged readings of a shorter version, which I'm honored to say was nominated as Best Special Event by Broadway World LA. And it was so well received, I expanded it to a full 89 minutes to enable theater companies to add it to their season, which is, to my delight, exactly what's happened. After I presented a staged reading of Jane Austen in 89 minutes at Theater 40, the managing and artistic director, David Hunt Stafford, liked it so much, he substituted it as a second show of their current season. Now, do you want me to tell you a little bit about Theater 40?
I would love it, but we're running out of time.
Okay.
I want to thank you for being here today. Today is called Philip Sokolov Day. And we want to thank you, along with who shared with you. And this gentleman who's getting ready to come on right now, he that makes a lot of plays too. You might get a chance to know him. Lloyd Schwartz. Lloyd J. Schwartz. That name sound familiar?
I'm sorry. I wasn't able to hear what you said.
Okay. I'm saying you say you like to do plays. It's the gentleman who's coming right now. Lloyd J. Schwartz.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm unfamiliar with that name. But
Uh-huh.
I do want to just mention that my play opens this Friday, September 20th.
What time? How to get tickets?
Opens Friday at 7:30 p.m. at Theater 40 in Beverly Hills, and it runs Friday and Saturday nights and Sunday matinees through October 13th. And tickets are available on the Theater 40 website, or you can call your order in.
Okay. All I got to say is one thing. Break a leg.
Break a leg. Thank you so much, Ron. It's been an honor to be on your show.
God bless you. Take care.
Thank you.
Roll it, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest today has been very successful in theater, motion pictures, and television. That's an understatement. He started his work as a dialogue coach with his father, Sherwood Schwartz, who in series like Gilligan's Island and The Brady Bunch. From there, our guest swiftly rose to producer, and with Sherwood's father, became the only father and son producing team in the business. Only. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome producer, writer, additional crew, and a fellow who loves to produce a play. He is Lloyd J. Schwartz.
Hi, Ron. How are you doing?
Doing fine, friend. I'm doing fine. Wish we had more like you. I wish we had more like you.
My wife doesn't, but that's okay.
I ain't gonna get into. I'm not even in that. I've been married 3 times, so I'm gonna just leave that alone.
Okay.
Okay. As you know, I want to thank you once you again, Phil Sokolov. He called you and got you here, and we on the run. And we thank you so very, very much for being here today. Like I said, I wish there were more like you. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Welcome once again to the Actors Show. I want to thank, well, we said that, of course, previous, thank you. I said that, thank you, both, right? Let's see if we can find it. There it is. Where were you born at, sir?
I was born in Studio City, California, and I live in Studio City, California, and I never change zip codes.
Why is that?
I don't know. I'm just, it's just easy. I told my wife comes from Minneapolis. I told her we can live anywhere as long as it's Studio City.
You and your wife, and there's a picture of you and your wife. Can you go to the next one? A picture of you and your wife, Barbara.
Ah, yeah, there she is.
There she is.
Yep. We married 48 years.
Oh, goodness.
As I tell her, the 48 most recent years of my life. That's as romantic as it's going to get.
Did you see the Emmys last night?
I did.
And you thought?
I just think it's sad that there's so much material that people are watching things get awarded that they never even heard of these shows. I mean, I try to keep up, but there's no anybody can keep up with all that. Yeah. I objected to the fact that The Bear was considered a comedy because it's not funny, but it wins awards. And I like, I like Hacks a lot. I think that's great. I know Jean Smart from a long time ago, and she's really talented and she's a good person. And I always like when the awards go to good people.
Yep. I just want to ask this question because I've been asking everybody the same question. What do you think about AI, artificial intelligence?
Well, I think AI is great in terms of medicine and things, I certainly don't think it's right in the creative field, and I don't know how we can stop it. I mean, we can try to, I think we do stopgap kind of stuff to try and keep it out. But, as a writer, I mean, I've read things that were written by AI that's look pretty good, so it's just sad that a lot of creative people are going to be hurt by that. Maybe not immediately because we passed some legislation, but they will be. You can't stop these things.
You're here today to talk about The Ugly Duckling.
Yes, we are.
Can you give us a brief synopsis on what it is?
Well, our children's theater, Storybook Theater Los Angeles, we do fairy tale based shows. And this particular one is funny because we always try to add other elements to introduce children. We do plays for children 3 to 9. And so we try to add famous elements. And in this particular case, because it's the ugly duckling turns into a swan, she turns into a swan and does a little bit of Swan Lake, Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake ballet, which is really cute. And our composer lyricist Adrian Russ had the courage to write lyrics to Swan Lake by Tchaikovsky. So it's really fun. It's a great lesson for kids because it has to do with, inclusion and the fact that she's on the outside because she's considered ugly, and I think that in our society today, people can relate to that greatly. And then eventually she shows that she has things that make her special. All of us have things that makes ourselves special. And in this particular case, we even have a little talent show because we have audience participation. Kids come on stage and they can show what they can do. And the talent usually comes out because they're 5 to 9. It's usually a cartwheel, but it's talent, and they're proud of what they do. So it's really a good show, a lot of audience participation, and we're very proud of it.
You and your wife, you've done a lot of plays. Here's one we threw up there, Little Red Riding Hood. So you've done a lot of different plays over the years.
We have 18 different ones we've done, and that's over. And we're starting our 40th year. 40 years we've been doing that. I'm 78, and so I tell I've done this for over half my life. My wife has done. She's 30 and she's done it for 40 years. So I don't know how that works.
I was trying to figure that out. How did he get 35 to 40 or 40 or 30?
It's not very good. It's not reliable math. I'll tell you that.
While I was doing some research, I found that the Storybook Theater is of Los Angeles at the Theater West. Tell us how that happened.
Right. And how did that happen?
Yes.
Was that the question?
Yes, sir.
Well, we were doing it in a park, and it was very successful in the park. And so they invited us over to become the children's division of Theater West. And that's where we've been. That's been our home. We're the only equity children's theater in the city of Los Angeles.
Like I said, I did my research. Los Angeles Times calls Storybook, quote, simply the best at what they do. The Los Angeles Magazine says Storybook, quote, it is the best in the city for the squirming set.
Yep.
The parents say that this is the #1 theater in Southern California.
Well, we like to think that. We like to think that. We know, we're proudest of the fact of just introducing the children to theater.
Yes.
Now kids don't see any entertainment that's not on a screen. I mean, we have kids all the time come in and say, when does the movie start? Because they're just not, familiar with this, and they get it immediately. And I think if we can introduce children to theater at this age, they're going to be with us forever.
According to Actors Equity Association, Storybook Theater is one of the highest impact children's theaters here in the United States.
I hadn't heard that quote. I really like it. I should write it down.
It serves more than 10,000 students a year and have entertained roughly 350,000 young theater goers during its time at the Theater West.
Yeah.
And I saw that. I said, make sure we put that in today because this husband.
I'm really glad. I'm glad you did. We're in a theater that seats 164 people, and if you realize that, what'd you do the math again? 350,000 people. It means that we've done a lot of performances.
Lloyd, I'm going to say just one more. Storybook has won more than 34 Valley League awards and has been honored by the U.S. Senate, the United States House of Representatives, Los Angeles City Council, and numerous other organizations for outstanding work in achieving life.
Yeah. It's we don't have enough wall space for those plaques, but we love them, and we just love that we're appreciated. It's mostly my wife's whole deal. Is she came from the Minneapolis Children's Theater, and so we couldn't find a play that we liked for our child at that time, and so she said, "Let's do a play," and we go 40 years later, we're still doing them.
The Ugly Duckling, back to it again. How many different players are there?
In the cast, there's 4 characters. There's a dog. There's the mama duck. There's the ugly duckling. And then there's a duck who's the sister who's kind of mean. and she has to learn a lesson. She sings like, "You don't look like us," kind of stuff. And eventually she shows that she's her own special person, which I tell you is like the lesson for the play.
You've done a little acting in your career, right?
Little.
Okay. Have you ever stepped on the stage in some of these shows?
It's funny. I started off as a stand-up comedian. I did back in the 60s, we did a black-white comedy team thing. We were thrown out of many clubs, by the way, but this was the 60s. And then I acted a little bit of an episode of Brady Bunch or so, but I just recently did a film and they really wanted somebody for this part. And I said, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And then I eventually did it, and I was passable. I mean, it didn't hurt the whole film, so I felt good about that.
Yes. It's good to refreshing to see some clean plays that people go to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not trying to knock them, I'm just saying it's a nice place for the kids. Like you said, 3 to 9.
Kids, they completely trust us. Parents completely trust us. And I come back naturally because I did Brady Bunch, and parents completely trusted Brady Bunch. So we just do these things. And besides the awards we've gotten, and got a lot of those, I think the thing that's most, they keep coming back, and the parents we get all these letters just, thanking us for what we're doing. And that's reward enough.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Again, you would take the kid, let them sit there, because right now in today's world, our children are growing too fast.
Yeah.
Too fast. It's time I think that they should stay at their age levels. Take your time. Take your time.
I think you're 100% right. The cell phone is a wonderful and a tempting device for kids.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, there you go.
I call it the second brain. That's what I call it.
Well, listen, it can be so useful. It can be so useful, but still, how many times you've been to a dinner and you look all around and people aren't even talking to each other. They're just talking in their phones everywhere.
That's right. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. The Ugly Duckling opens October the 12th on Saturdays at 1 p.m.
That's it. I hope you can come. I'll be there every performance. I'm always there. Okay. So if anybody in your audience comes up saying they've seen this interview, terrific, because I know you do such good work and letting people know about us. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you very much. Thank you. Parking across the street. It's not our lot, okay. But there is parking, and then you walk right across the street with a crosswalk and you're there. Location.
3333 Cahuenga Boulevard. That's between Lancashire and Barham on Cahuenga, near Universal Studios.
There it bees. There it bees. I see a telephone number 818-761-2203.
That's it. That's it.
That's it. There's some pictures right there showing interior and exterior, what goes on there. Nice looking place.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful theater space.
www.theaterwest.org. If you haven't gotten that one, let me give it to you again.
theaterwest.org. Yeah, you can get tickets that way online, but if you call the other number, you'll talk to a real person, and we'll take care of that.
Gotcha. We got time for a couple more questions. Here's one of them.
Good.
What excites you the most about this play?
I think the lessons of it, and seeing the kids see themselves in it. I mean, just, a lot of kids feel they're not accepted, and they see how that affects you, and then they see how that can help them by the end of the play, especially when they come up and do their own thing.
And this I saw in the lead there. It said, Ugly Duckling is idea entertainment for kids aged 3 to 9. Whole family is.
Oh yeah, we want everybody there, everybody. But the adults get more fun out of watching how the kids react. I mean, yeah.
Lloyd, one more word you'd like to say? Anything you want to say?
No, just I'm glad you had me on, because we've talked before about other subjects, and I'm glad we're talking about Ugly Duckling, because that's the next thing up. And come see it and enjoy it. And as they say, we're there, so come talk.
Once again, much thanks for having you here today. But all the guests, coincidentally, get you back again.
Love that.
I think it was about a year ago that you came, so we'll get you every year so around this time.
We'll be doing another show for sure. The Children's Theater. Maybe we'll have some movie or something too.
Thank you. And if you don't,
Okay.
give me a call, please give me a call.
I will do it. Thanks, Ron.
Get that out. Thank you, sir. I want to thank our sponsors, Harvey Brandman Photography is an Art, Ron Irwin's Loose Wife, Wait. Our Buford's Book for the Future, Time Travel, Message at the Capsule, State Farm Agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's Actor Training Facility and Actor Space. And much thanks to our guests today. Director, writer, editor, John Mullican. Author, playwright, screenwriter, actress, director, Syrie James. And producer, writer, additional crew, Lloyd J. Schwartz. The Actor's Choice is a presentation of B&B Productions. Rudolph Brewington is the president. Sidney Chandler is our executive producer. Special thanks to our ever-growing audience. We thank you. I always say this, and I mean it from the heart. Thank you all. Enjoy being with you. I'm Ron Brewington, and we will see you next time.